Okay, something a little bit new from Canik. And yeah, I've given up pronouncing it Janik, although I think that is correct. But since in their own commercials and advertisements, they're saying Canik, I'm going to give in and say Canik. So, something a little bit new from the folks at Canik, and you've probably already seen this, so no big surprise. The subcompact version of the very popular TP9 series, more specifically the TP9 Elite. So this is the TP9 Elite SC for subcompact. This is exactly the way it comes in the box. Just picked it up. So let's take a quick look. I won't bore you with a whole lot of tabletop stuff, but as you can see, it comes with a holster. Well, that's typical for Canik. However, this holster is something a little bit new and different. It is definitely a different style. It's more of a molded and fitted belt slide style. However, the clips that you see here, which appear to be good quality clips, are reversible, so you can take these clips off of the back, move them around to the front, and make this an inside the waistband holster. So it comes with a dual purpose inside the waistband or outside the waistband holster, and that is a nice touch. Comes with this weird quality controlled tab on it that I don't need. Thank you very much. Comes with a second magazine. The magazine that's in the pistol is a 12 rounder. The other one in the box is a 15 rounder, and you can see the difference in the base plate with that little bit of an extension sleeve on the 15 rounder. We'll talk about other Canik 9mm magazines in a moment. So we have that magazine there, and we have a gun lock, and we have a nice little chamber flag. We also have a small toolbox. Now the small toolbox comes into play because, hold on while I figure this out. The small toolbox contains wrenches and screws because this slide is cut for an Optic. So like the large competition version of the gun, Canik supplies this one pre-cut and ready for your red dot. So here is hardware to support that, which is nice. Actually, this is a much better presentation of that hardware than most companies give us. What else is in the box? Also, we have an alternate back strap. So this one looks like it is maybe smaller. Alright, over here we have an adapter plate for our Optic. Now, this is polymer, so we have plastic adapter. Is that going to make a difference? I don't know. We have an additional base plate for our magazine, so if we don't like that pinky extension base plate that's on the magazine, the 12 round magazine, we can swap it out for a flush base plate. And they've even put a little bit of tape, protective tape here over the front, remove before firing, and that's really there, I think, just to protect it while it's in the box, so it doesn't get all boogered up. So I'm going to go ahead and peel that off. Well, hey guys, welcome to the range for the very first 100, maybe more, probably more. I field stripped it and lubed it good, and it's ready to run. These will be the very first shots. I'm going to try to shoot a lot of different ammo today, but I am starting with, as I like to do, Sig Sauer Elite Performance. This is the 124 grain full metal jacket. I'm 10 yards away from the orange dot you see on that target. Let's take the first shots. So right off the bat, the front sight seems huge. It's just a big white dot. It is phosphorescent, so after it's been charged with light, it will glow for a time in darkness. But there's no tritium. Sight picture is good. Small, has a small rear sight. The front notch fills it pretty nicely. And it looks like it is, at 10 yards, pretty dead on. This is the 12 round magazine with the pinky extension base plate. I haven't been counting. Hope you guys are counting. That was 12. Looks like I put the first 12 where I wanted them to go, and that's always a good thing. So, my thoughts, one magazine in. It's a little bit snappy, as you would expect from a gun as small as it is, but not bad at all. The grip feels nice. It has good texture out on the front strap, which helps hold my fingers in place. Good texture on the back strap as well, that same sort of knurled texture. The trigger is very nice. The trigger stroke is on the Canik pistols a little odd to me, in that just the curvature and the way they move feels a little funny under my finger compared to most other triggers. That said, they are fantastic in their crispness and lightness and very short reset and all of those good qualities. So moving on now to the 15 round magazine with the extended base plate, the way it comes in the box. And of course, with Caniks we have this ambidextrous slide stop, slide release control that is very long and nice, and right there where your thumb can reach it. And it works. It does what it's supposed to do. All right, see if we can't expand that same hole a little bit. The gun is a little bit wide at the back, so there's a bit of a thumb knuckle issue, at least for smaller hands like mine. But it's not terribly uncomfortable by any means. I do like the sights. They are small, but very effective. Good sight picture. Great reset. All right. So that was 12 plus 15. However many that is. Okay, here's a quick look at the specs for this gun. It is of course a 9mm. That is the 9 in the TP9 part of the name. The barrel length is 3.6 inches. Overall length of the gun is 6.7 inches. It only weighs 24.78 ounces, that's the published number, so it's a pretty light gun for its size. The overall height of the gun is 4.6 inches, which makes it good for a non-printing concealed carry. The width is 1.45, and this is maybe the one dimension that's a little awkward because it's a bit of a chubby little thing. It's got a very nice rear sight, blacked out, kind of a U-shaped notch with anti-glare serrations running horizontally, and very well made. Also has that nice square front ledge that if you needed to run the slide with it, you could do that. The front sight is a very good quality sight. I'm just not a big fan of it because it's a phosphorus dot rather than any kind of a tritium sight. The problem with a phosphorus sight is, it absorbs ambient light. It will glow for some period of time in darkness. But if you're carrying the gun concealed, it's pretty safe to say it's not gathering any light. So if you ever had to draw this thing, to defend yourself in a low light situation, you're going to have a dead black front sight that might be pretty hard to find. So the good news is it sits in a dovetail, and there should be plenty of aftermarket replacements available for it. The finish of the gun is a tungsten Cerakote over a nitride finish. For the slide, of course, the frame is polymer. This is the same finish that they've been using on several of their TP9 variants, both the Elites and the competition model. I like it. It's a nice look, but it's a bit grainy looking, if that makes any sense to you. Photographers out there will know anyway. It's a bit grainy looking. It's not a smooth finish. It doesn't really look metallic. It looks painted. Capacity is 12+1 in this magazine that has the pinky extension or the optional flat base plate, and 15+1 in the extended magazine that you see in the gun now. MSRP is $429. I paid right around $400, and that's probably what you can expect to find it for if you find it in your store now. So Canik makes a lot of different sized handguns in 9mm, and all those different size handguns take a lot of different size magazines. But are they compatible? Will they fit and work in this, now the smallest, the subcompact? The answer is, yeah, they certainly should. They do fit and they seem to function just fine. Let's try shooting. This is the 15-round magazine. It does feel different without that finger support though, without that sleeve. But it's good to know that if you already have magazines, they'll work. And while I'm proving magazine compatibility, here is the 18-round magazine. But I've only got 15 in it. But still, you can see that it sticks out quite a bit further. But it also fits and seats perfectly and should function just fine. All right. Now it looks like I dropped a couple, but it does put them right where I want. TP9 Elite SC does come with the slide pre-cut and ready to accept an optic. That's the good news. The bad news is it's not going to accept it doesn't accept any of the ones I have. The only one that I know of that it should be compatible with would be the Shield mini sight. And I don't have one of those, and I'm not in the market for one at the moment, so I'm not going to get one just to put it on this gun. But it will not take any of the other red dot sights that I have. The opening is just simply too small. So I'm not sure I agree with that. If, you know, maybe they did not have the overall length. They could get rid of this loaded chamber indicator. I'm not a big fan of those. I find them to be completely useless anyway. Plus, it's just one more way to get your optic filthy dirty if you do put an optic on there. But they could get rid of that and have more length, probably, to make a regular RMR cut. I think that would be a better option, because the gun is so wide as it is. I mean, it's almost 1.5 inches wide if you count the controls here. So it certainly has room for a full-size red dot optic. So I don't know why they felt like they could only go with the Shield mini sight. But it is what it is, so my job is to inform, and of course flavored with a little bit of opinion. Okay, extreme case of magazine compatibility. That's right, folks. Extreme magazine compatibility. This is the +2 18 rounder, and that adds up to what? That adds up to 20. This is, of course, the magazine from the SFX version of the Canik TP9, the competition version. It's the +2 extended magazine. It sticks way out, but if you've got one, you can still use it with this gun, which is great for not just range time, so you don't have to do a whole lot of mag loading, but you know, you can make an argument for having one of these stowed somewhere on your person as your backup magazine. And if you're out in a disaster, and this is your carry gun, you got to do a reload, having 20 rounds is not a bad thing. All right, so let me burn off these 20. Tell you more about the gun as I'm shooting it. I really do like the Canik firearms. I have ever since I first tried it. And this one I think is just kind of a nice natural evolution, giving us a subcompact carry size. And it still has good capacity with 12 and 15 round mags. And I'm telling you, it is just eating a single hole in that target. And that's just 10 yards away, but for a self-defense gun, that's pretty good. Uh-oh. We had a click when we were expecting a bang. Now, is that because the mag did not hold the slide open? Probably. We have an empty mag, and we do not have anything in the chamber. So, this magazine, for whatever reason, did not lock the slide back that time. I'll try it again. Nope. Okay. So it's hit or miss with this extended +2 magazine. It didn't want to lock the slide back. Okay, back to the 12 round pinky extension magazine that comes with the gun. And I've moved on to a combination of MagTech and PMC ammo. The gun shoots nice. It shoots nice, it recovers really nice from the recoil, it stays relatively flat. Sight picture bounces right back where I want it. And this trigger is phenomenal. Trigger is absolutely fantastic. Feels good in the hand. It's a comfortable gun to hold. It's a comfortable gun while you're shooting. Like I say, a little bit of thumb knuckle bumping at the back where it's real wide for my hands. But other than that, it is almost perfect. The gun comes with a holster that you can probably see right here. So this holster is in this configuration, outside the waistband holster. It's a nice holster. It's a decent, perfectly fit, obviously, but it's got good clips. Makes for a great little outside the waistband holster. It hugs the body tightly, which is nice, which is important if you wanted to conceal with this holster. But it gets even better. You can turn these clips around, move them to the outside, and then use this as an inside the waistband holster. It is designed to be reversible in that way. So unless you're a left-handed guy, like a friend of mine that I was talking to earlier today said, yeah, that's all well and good, but I'm a lefty. I was like, oh, well, cross draw, what can I tell you? But nice that they provide a holster, and nice that they provide a good, usable, and practical holster. Let me see if I can actually draw the gun from the holster. Yeah, baby. So it's pretty intuitive without having practiced that. Okay, so enough of my make-believe tactical Timmy stuff, but I just wanted to demonstrate that it does come with a good practical holster. Fantastic trigger, better than average sights, good ergonomics, bordering on very, very good ergonomics, and good magazine capacity, and good magazine compatibility. Okay, I've already got 100 rounds of factory ammo through this gun, so I could stop and fulfill my obligation to you of a first 100. However, I'm just all about bringing you the value, so I'm going to keep going because I feel like it. I'm going to shoot some hand loads. This is my Just an Opinion hand load. It is a 124 grain bullet, 9mm, of course. That makes it fit a lot better in a 9mm gun. This is my all-purpose load that I mostly shoot competition with, so it is designed to be just safely above minimum power factor to minimize recoil, but it's also meant to be very accurate. What that means, though, is it's a lower power load than what I've shot, especially that Sig Sauer, which tends to be on the full power side. So if the gun doesn't run these loads, it truly is nothing against the gun. I just like to see from an evaluation standpoint, with, you know, are the springs, you know, real tight, or are they loose, or whatever, because that helps me to know whether I'd really need to have full power, fairly hot loads or not, or whether I could get away with some of the weaker stuff. So let's find out if it'll run my hand loads. Oh yeah, one more. Yep. Not a problem at all. So that is extra bonus if it'll run the lighter ammo. One thing I did notice, I'll show it to you now, I just noticed it again, magazines don't really drop free. So the magazine release is a good one, right there where your thumb can hit it without having to move your grip too much, but it doesn't really drop the mag. It drops out about a ½ an inch, but you gotta reach up and grab it. So I did notice that before. Okay, probably the best way to describe the size to you is to show you compared to a couple of other guns. So here's one that we looked at recently on the channel. This is the VP9 SK from H&K. Let me zoom out just a hair. So to compare these two guns, you can see that, so you can see that the length of the two guns is just about the same, and the height is just about the same. They have a little bit different magazine base plate going on there, but otherwise, height-wise, very, very similar. Smith & Wesson, and this is an old 1.0 Smith & Wesson compact, or actually the 9C, so this was the 9 compact. They didn't call it a sub, but it's that same category, so you can see the size there. One of the things you can notice is how much thicker this Canik seems compared to it. But again, same length and basically same height as well. So very similar in size to the Smith & Wesson. Now here's one that you guys might be interested in if you're looking for an affordable potential carry gun, and that would be to compare it to the Ruger Security 9 compact version. And here is the length. You can see that the Ruger is smaller in length, and they are just about the same height. Very similar in height. Ruger is probably maybe a little bit shorter. And probably get yelled at if I didn't compare it to the Glock 26. This is a Gen 4. If for no other reason, then this would be the ubiquitous basis for comparison. So you can see it's a little longer than a Glock 26. And I have the extended magazine, or the pinky mag on this one, so you can see it's shorter that way, but it's just about, again, the same height. So some comparisons for you. Okay, defense ammo at defense distance, I've moved up to 7 yards. That is the official tool or drill distance of 21 feet from that target. I'm also using Sig Sauer 124 grain V-Crown jacketed hollow point ammo. I'd like to thank my friends at Sig for providing the channel with this ammo. It is my favorite. It's also great because it feels exactly like the ball ammo. So going from range ammo to defense ammo doesn't feel any different. Let's see how I can do with 10 rounds of it. All right. It looks like that'll get the job done. I don't know about you, but on any given day, I would not be ashamed of this group. Okay, there we have it. There's my first look. Fairly detailed look, but certainly not a super extensive look into this new Canik. Got a couple hundred rounds through it on my first range trip, which was pretty good. No malfunctions, great performance. I also did notice that it has a very nice and very consistent ejection pattern. And at around $400, I honestly don't think you're going to find a better gun in this class as far as quality, certainly as far as trigger. I like all of the Caniks that I've tried and shot, and this one does not change that a bit.